Hey, welcome to the Beyond the Limits podcast. And you already know, here we live beyond the limits because the limits are merely illusions. Hey, hey.
I noticed you noticing. I noticed you noticing. I noticed you noticing. I noticed you noticing.
Shout out to Charm Taylor.
Look, I blowed up when I showed up. Look, I blowed up, and you ain't gotta lie. You ain't gotta hide. Heard you talking weed from the sideline. You a side guy. You a small fry. Let them gas you. That's a side high. That's a no wave. It's a new vibe. This is real gold. This is real shine. These is real stones. Yeah, the blue kind. And we gotta eat. So it's showtime. I know that you noticed it. I noticed you noticed it. I noticed you noticed it. I noticed you noticed it. When I showed up, I got glowed up. I noticed you noticing. I noticed you noticing. I noticed you noticing. I noticed you when I showed up. I glowed up when I showed up.
Hey, I just wanted to start the podcast with that wonderful song by Charm Taylor. The name of it is Glowed Up. And it is that season, you all. It is that season. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. We are ready. We have been like cocoons, butterflies in the cocoon, and now it is time for us to spread our wings and fly. And I love that song so very much because it just reminds me, that we are here to be bright. We are here to be bold. We are here to be amazing versions of ourselves. And don't let anybody, including yourself, steal your joy or steal your shine. Understood? All right. Now let's keep it moving. Welcome to the Beyond the Limits podcast, where we live beyond limits because the limits are merely illusions. I am your host, Jasmine Dominique, and thank you so much for returning. This is episode 2, y'all. Episode 2. I can't believe it. And let me tell you, the support, the love, the positive feedback that you all have given to me about episode number 1 has been absolutely incredible. I appreciate you all and I love you all so much. I was not expecting to get the support that I received from episode 1, but nevertheless, you all showed up and showed out, and I just really appreciate you all for that. And with that being said, I just want to say this: if you have a vision, if you have a goal, if you have a purpose, everybody has a purpose. Go for it. When the seed was planted to start this podcast, I laughed. I laughed because I didn't think it was my lane to do a podcast. I mean, I enjoy them. But I laughed because first I thought, who is going to listen to this? And what am I going to talk about? And now, you know how we do. We sometimes begin to doubt ourselves when God plants a seed in our hearts and in our minds. But go for it, y'all. Don't worry about where the resources are going to come from, where the money is going to come from. If it is aligned with your purpose, everything that you need will come into fruition with ease and balance, and it will work out. Don't worry about how it's going to work out. Just know that it's going to work out. I remember hearing many years ago actually, that if your vision doesn't scare you a little bit, it's not big enough. If your purpose doesn't scare you just a little bit, it's not big enough, right? So just remember to dream big. Dream big. Oh, I'm about to catch the Holy Ghost in here. Dream big and know that you will have everything that you need in order to fulfill your purpose. So go for it. All right, let's get into it. So you know how I do. I start the podcast with a positive quote. And this quote was actually inspired by a conversation that I had this week. So I was having a conversation with my financial advisor, and he's a friend. So sometimes he vents to me a little bit about what he goes through as he is working with people to build financial wealth and wellness. And he was frustrated with a few of his clients. And he said, man, I just don't want to deal I don't want to deal with the people and I don't want to deal with those people anymore. You know, he was just frustrated. And I said to him, listen, you have to be mindful that when you are encountering, when you're working with people, when you're encountering different people, that you are dealing with a mindset. So sometimes we have the tendency to label people because they come from a certain place or they look a certain way. But if we eliminate that and remember that we are dealing with people's mindsets, not what they look like, not where they come from. We are dealing with their mindset that changes things. Okay. So know what you're dealing with, know what you're working with, and proceed accordingly. All right. So I found this quote, and it is, if you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at will change. Let that simmer a little bit, like a little cup of hot cocoa, baby. If you change the way that you look at things, what you look at, it will change. Meaning that we all have a choice. We all have a choice. Our perception is our choice, and we can change it at any time. I know I felt that quote deep down in my spirit, and I hope that you do too. All right, let's keep it moving. So I just wanted to check in. I have something that I want to talk to you, a few things that I want to talk to you all about. And please stay tuned to the end, until the end of the podcast, because I am going to be making a very special announcement. And I am so very excited to share what I am going to share with you all today. Before I do that, my engineer, Theo, is here. Hey, Theo. Say hey. He said, hey, y'all. And I just wanted to give him a shout out because I want everybody to know I'm not doing this by myself. I do have support. I do have wise, knowledgeable people around me that are helping me to do this thing. So I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. All right. But again, stay tuned until the end of the podcast, because I'm making an announcement, and this announcement is going to make you smile. I just know it. But before we get into that, I just wanted to check in. So this is episode 2 again of the Beyond the Limits podcast. Thank you for being here. If it's your first time being here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back, baby. I appreciate you. And I just wanted to do this podcast to talk about something with you all. But I also just wanted to let you know that this is episode 2, and episode 1, 2, and 3 are all about, is a segment basically that is geared towards you just getting to know me a little better. You know, like we're going to be sharing space. We want to be sharing time together. And I just want to give you all the opportunity to ask questions that you want to ask me and to get to know me a little better, right? Like I said last time, most people know me as being the health and wellness specialist, mental health counselor, doula, Reiki specialist and master. I teach Reiki courses. I teach dance, right? But I want to utilize the first 3 episodes to create a space for you all to just get to know Jasmine Dominique. My mama named me that. My mama named me Jasmine Dominique. Because I think that's very important. Like I just want to keep the personal aspect in the midst of all of this too. I ain't no robot. I'm a real human being, okay? I go through real human shit. And I just want to humanize, make sure that this podcast is humanized so that it is a safe space for you and for me to just show up being exactly who we are. Because who you are is dope, baby. The good, the bad, the ugly, the whatever, it's all dope. So this segment is about you getting to know me and me getting to know you. Cool. So with that being said, I want to give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you'd like to ask. Feel free to shoot me a DM and ask me any questions you want to. Listen, don't be trying to get too much into my little business now, honey. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little bit, but I ain't gonna tell you everything. I gotta keep a little something for myself. But if you have some questions that you would like for me to answer during the next podcast, I would love to. So feel free to shoot me a DM. You can also leave a comment when you watch the podcast. You can find this podcast, Beyond the Limits podcast with Jasmine Dominique and friends, on YouTube and SoundCloud as well. All right. And I will respond to your questions when I do the next podcast, episode 3. Oh my gosh. All right. But I just wanted to check in with you all before we get into the topic. So I want to let you know what's been going on with me. Okay. My life is something else. To say the least. My life is very interesting. It's very colorful. I make sure that my life is adventurous, and because I'm going to die one day. Wow, that was too much. No, well, it's the reality. Life is an experience. It's not a final destination. And so I make sure that I enjoy my life and do the things that make my spirit smile. So, you all, recently I had the opportunity, okay, to travel to Florida to celebrate Black love. 2 of my very amazing, dope, incredible, super loving friends, they said, Jasmine, and I said, what? And they said, guess what? And I said, tell me. And they said, you are going to host our wedding reception. And I said, what? Say what? But I love them to life. And I couldn't, of course, I don't think that I had an option anyway. So I flew out to Florida last week. I spent, oh my gosh, about 3 nights there. And we celebrated their union. And y'all, it was so amazing. They've been married for a year. So we were celebrating their 1-year anniversary. And this was the first time that both sides of the family, came together just to get to know each other and to celebrate their union. And we had a good time, y'all. Oh my gosh, we had a good time. We ate good food. We laughed. We just had a wonderful, wonderful time. And I am so proud of my friends. I am so proud. Shout out to the Calvins. I am so proud of them. And one of the questions, so we had a segment where I asked them questions about their union and the purpose of their union, because I believe that every marriage serves a specific purpose. Just like we have our individual purposes, our marriages have a specific purpose too, designed by God. And so one of the questions that I asked was, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind 100 years from now? What will people remember about your marriage? And they both said love. People are going to remember the love. And that is no lie. Like, they are just so full of love and so full of life. And have you ever met a couple that just balances each other out very well? That's them. Like, they balance each other out perfectly. And I am so excited for them. And so again, shout out to the Calvins. I love you. I love your families. I want to say thank you to your families for taking me in. Y'all, I was like a little cousin and we had a blast. So shout out to the Calvins. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the elders that were there. Grandmamas were there. Dad, mom, uncles, aunts. It was just beautiful. The little kids were dancing, honey. I know they passed out that night, but we had a great time. So that's what I've been up to, supporting my friends. I also have been nursing myself back to health. I did not have the vid. Okay. I didn't have the vid. Look at Thea looking at me like, girl, I'm about to get out of here. I did not have the vid. but I had something and it knocked me on my butt. And, I had this revelation while I was sick, because it was usually when I get sick, my immune system is so dope because I don't be in nobody's face like that, number one. And number two, I be eating my greens and working out and minding my business and staying hydrated and stuff, right? So usually my immune system is like up to par. But I was knocked out and I was reminded to slow down. And it was hard. Like the first few days I was like, but I have things to do. This is not what I want. But it reminded me to slow down and to just rest, like take moments to rest and be still and to do absolutely nothing. Like there is nothing wrong with doing absolutely nothing. Just don't stay there for too long. Okay, get your tail up because we got to take care of business and adults. But sometimes just take a break and just be. And I was reminded of that. And number two, I was reminded, see, that's real life though. I was also reminded to ask for help when I needed, because I needed help. And so, it's just amazing. Again, going back to the quote, if you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at will change. I am remembering when I face challenges in life, because them challenges be coming, baby, like out of nowhere. Bam, bam. Like I'm remembering to choose my perspective wisely. I am learning how to choose my perspective and to get the lesson that I am supposed to get from the challenge. And I feel like I did that when I was sick because, honey, your girl was down for the count, okay? Down for the count. So I just want to remind you, as I remind myself, eat your greens. My grandfather, when I was a little girl, we had to eat greens with every meal. And now I understand why. Eat your greens, mind your business, stay hydrated, stay moisturized, and don't be in nobody's face like that unless it's your boo. That's another podcast. So moving on. I'm alive. And I'm feeling so much better. And I thank my support system for loving on me and for spoiling me. I appreciate you. And we're going to keep it moving now. All right. One last thing that I wanted to share with you all. So I'm in the process of buying my first home. And I'm super excited, but it is a lot. How come no one told me? It is a process. And so I am learning so much about myself throughout this process. It requires a lot of discipline and a lot of focus. And I'm trying to keep that throughout the process of buying a home. I'm super excited, but I'm also like, okay, I'm just ready for this to be done. But again, sometimes we got to slow down and pay attention to the process so that we can learn the lessons along the way. So that has what has been happening in my life right now. A lot of great things. When I look at all the different things that I just shared with you all, when I process what has been happening in my life, I am so very grateful because I'm seeing progress. I'm seeing evolution. I am seeing blessings, right? Blessings. And if you, like me, got your ass kicked during the pandemic and a little bit after, or even now still, right? To be rewarded for your faith, your patience, your diligence, your discipline, your focus is such a gift. So I am so grateful. I am beyond grateful because I had my moments like, is this going to pay off? Shit, I'm tired. I'm doing what you told me to do, but I'm not seeing any of the benefits. But God's timing is perfect timing. God's timing is perfect timing, and the ancestors are always working on our behalf. So shout out to everyone who is reaping their harvest. Let me tell you this, you deserve it. You've earned it. It is your season. And remember to encourage and to inspire someone else who is preparing to walk into their harvest season. All right? Cool. All right, you all. So you know how we do. Before we get into today's topic, I'd like to take a moment to center and to ground. So we are going to just pause for a minute wherever you are. If you're driving, please keep your eyes open, keep your eyes on the road. Thank you. But if you can, just take a moment to pause wherever you are and plant your feet firmly on the ground and let all of your weight sink into your chair. If you're standing, let all of your weight sink into your feet. Just let all of your weight drop and close your eyes unless you're driving. All right? Don't you close your eyes if you're driving. And just begin to focus on your breath. And simply observe your breath. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. Don't judge it. Be kind to yourself. Just simply observe it. And if you can slow it down a bit, go ahead and slow it down. And allow your breath to flow deeply from your core, your womb. Breathe deeply. Most people breathe from their chest. And when we breathe only from our chest, we are limiting the oxygen intake. And our brains, every part of our bodies, our cells need oxygen in order to flourish, in order to operate. So when we breathe from the core of our womb, when we take deeper breaths, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to take in more oxygen. So always breathe from your core. And take a few more deep breaths in and out. And as you breathe out, I want you to be intentional about what it is that you are seeking to release from your psyche, your heart, your body. What is it that you are releasing that no longer serves you? Let it go when you breathe out. I am releasing a fear of failure. Everything is working exactly as it should be. And if at first I don't succeed, I can try again and learn the lessons. And as you breathe in and breathe out deeply, just take a moment to give some gratitude to your ancestors, your guardian angels, those that protect us and walk with us every day. We have no idea how much we have been protected. It would probably blow our minds. I would probably pass out if I received an overview of everything that I have been protected from. We have angels. So just take a moment as you breathe slowly and deeply to acknowledge them, to thank them, because they are always working on your behalf. And when we give thanks to our ancestors, we give them fuel, we give them power, we give them energy so that they can continue to assist us and guide us as we continue our earthly journey. We are not doing this thing called life by ourselves, honey. That's for sure. All right. So I hope that taking those deep breaths in and out and just pausing for a minute to be in the moment, I hope that that was good for you. It was good for me. I needed it. And just know that you have access to your breath at any time. So no matter where you are, at work, at home, wherever, you can always take a pause to breathe in, to breathe out from your core, and to be present with the moment. All right? Okay, so I want to talk to you all about something. But first, someone sent a question to me and they asked me, what does safe space mean? Because as I mentioned during episode 1, the Beyond the Limits podcast is a safe space where you can show up as you are. No judgment. No judgment. You can show up as you are, being your amazing self to receive love, inspiration, empowerment, encouragement. So safe space simply means that this is a non-judgmental zone, a gentle zone, an empowering zone, a loving zone, a spirit-filled zone where you can just be exactly who you are. There are so many pressures in the world right now, right? To look a certain way, to make a certain amount of money, to be a certain type of character for social media. There are so many pressures in the world right now. Like, I feel that we actually live in a very perfectionistic society. And so safe space for the Beyond the Limits podcast means that we ain't worried about all of that. You don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is be yourself. And we accept you and love you and value here. This podcast is about community. All right. So I hope that answered your question. If not, let me know and we'll dig a little deeper. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about something. Let me get my voice together, honey. Today, I want to talk about something that has been on my mind for quite some time. And I just want to share it with you all and talk about it a little bit, okay? So I've been seeing this word manifest a lot lately. Like manifest. I'm going to manifest. I've been hearing it and seeing it everywhere. I'm going to manifest this. I'm going to manifest that. And I just wanted to take a minute to dig into what we are doing when we are seeking to manifest something in our lives. I think it's so important, okay? Because faith without works is dead. And manifesting, I think that we have to be ready for what it is that we want to manifest, meaning we need to be in alignment with what it is that we are aiming to manifest. Otherwise, we're just wasting time, right? Like, I need to make sure that I am doing my part. I need to make sure that I am doing my part so that when the manifestation comes, I am ready. I need to make sure that I am ready to value the manifestation that is going to come. And I need to also make sure that I am ready to continue to expand the manifestation when it comes. So I believe that the first step to manifesting is to make sure that you're in alignment with what it is that you're asking for, right? And I don't always hear that. When I hear people talking about manifesting, it's almost like, rubbing a genie bottle and then bam, it's just going to happen. But that's not how the laws of the universe work, boo. That's not how the laws of the universe work. The universe is going to match our vibration. The universe is always going to match our frequency, which means that if we ain't ready, we're not going to get it. Because the universe knows if we're not ready for what it is that we're asking for, we are not going to treat it with care. We are not going to understand it. Because sometimes we think that we're ready to manifest something that we want in our lives, but we haven't really taken the time to understand what it all comes with, right? And so sometimes I think it's important to just slow down, to make sure that we've done the internal work to prepare our external environment for what it is that we are asking for. And that means getting into alignment for what it is that you are seeking to manifest, okay? To go a bit deeper into that, and I'm going to share a personal story with you all. When we are aiming to manifest for our lives, sometimes we got to sacrifice. So let me go to church in here. Sometimes we have to sacrifice. And if we're not ready to sacrifice, to make space, to make room for what it is that we are seeking to manifest, the universe can't provide. And so in the midst of me manifesting and creating the life that I want for myself. Because for a while I was like, I'm asking, where's it at? And then I finally got the memo, girl, you ain't ready. Like, you are not ready. So you need to prepare before your manifestation comes. And that came with some sacrifices. It did. There were certain mindsets that I had to let go of. Certain mindsets were holding me back from manifesting the life that I wanted to manifest. Right? To be completely transparent with you, I grew up, though my mom, she worked very, very hard. She was a single mom and she worked very, very hard to provide and to take care of me. But that was the message that I received, is that you have to work hard. You have to sacrifice all of your time and all of your energy and be exhausted and depleted in order to have some success. So I didn't just have that mindset when it came to money, because that was a mindset that was so very prevalent for me as a child. That mindset showed up in my relationships. And yes, my relationship with money. And so I had to have a conversation with the little girl inside of me, right? Before I could manifest what it is that I was seeking to manifest. I had to have a conversation with that little girl inside of me to remind her that she is worthy of what it is that she was asking for. And so I had to learn, and I am still learning, how to reprogram my mind in order to let go of this notion and illusion that you have to fight, struggle, and strive in order to have success in your life. Ooh, child. Woo. Right? Like, I couldn't receive what it was that I was asking for because I just wasn't ready. That little girl inside of me wasn't ready. Right? So sometimes we have to make sacrifices in order to manifest what it is that we are seeking to manifest. And also I had to realize, and this was a doozy, but I get it now. Not everyone can go. Right? When you have big dreams, I'm a big dreamer. I dream big. My dreams are never small. They're always scary as hell. But I had to realize that people that don't dream big, and that's their choice, no judgment. But people that don't have big dreams, people that aren't afraid to go outside of the box, people that aren't afraid to do what has never been done before, they will not understand me. And I encountered that. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing it that way? That ain't gonna work. How you gonna get the money? I don't need any of that in my life, because I know what has been revealed to me through my vision. And so I had to sacrifice certain relationships that just no longer served me. And I'm grateful for every relationship, but sometimes in order to manifest, we have to let some ideas and some people go. So in the midst of, or as you prepare for what it is that you are seeking to manifest, I really want to encourage you to think about what you will have to let go. And if you are willing and ready to let it go in order to bring into fruition what it is that you are asking for. Okay? Because that's some real shit right there. Sometimes we got to let some things go, sacrifice. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of manifesting is changing the brain. Changing the brain and changing the lifestyle, right? I remember asking, I've worked very, very hard for a very long time to manifest something specific, but my brain chemistry, it was jacked up. Like, how am I going to manifest it with this jacked up brain chemistry, right? Like, and let me be nice to myself, all right? Sometimes we have to deal with traumas. subconscious thoughts. Subconscious thoughts are those thoughts that are so deeply rooted in our psyche. And those subconscious thoughts, they dictate how we see the world, how we create our worlds. And a lot of the times our subconscious thoughts are only a result of those experiences that really shifted and changed us as when we were children, trauma. And so trauma can get in the way of us manifesting what it is that we are seeking to manifest for our lives. So guess what I had to do? And guess what I encourage you to do? Honey, get you a good old counselor. Get you a good old counselor. Somebody that can walk with you along your journey and that can help you to unpack some of the blockages and the barriers that are preventing you from living the life that you deserve to live. Because until we deal with the trauma, until we deal with the hardness, the blocks, the stagnation, right? We can't eliminate the resistance. And in order to manifest the life that you want to manifest for yourself, you need flow in your life, baby. You need flow and ease in your life, right? And when we are struggling with unresolved mental blocks, we again create resistance, and the universe can't do what it needs to do with all of that. It's just not going to, right? So, changing the chemistry of the brain is so very important. We all operate on programs. Woo-wee. We all operate on programs. That's why I don't argue with nobody. If you know me, you know Jasmine don't argue with nobody because there's no point, right? Everybody is operating, meaning everybody is responding and existing based on the programs that run in their mind. Okay. And these programs that we have in our mind have been created by a multitude of experiences that we have encountered throughout our lives. So sometimes we have to shift that thing. Sometimes we have to get into the program to understand the root of it, where it comes from. And sometimes we have to get into our programs. That's why I say get you a good old counselor, baby, so that we can understand how certain programs, certain beliefs, certain patterns, certain habits are creating stagnation, barriers, struggles, problems for us in our own lives. And it's not easy for humans to do that because we all have egos and our ego wants to be right. But sometimes we're not right. And sometimes we have to do the work to shift the way that we think in order to create the life that we want to create for ourselves. All right. So manifesting also comes with, again, changing the way that we think. Changing the chemistry of our brain, which means that sometimes manifesting is going to take some time because we have work to do. Okay. Something else that I wanted to share was, oh God. All right. So transparent moment. I have a counselor. Yes, I am a mental health clinician. I am a mental health clinician. I love being a mental health clinician. I love helping the people that I help. But I need help too. Because I got some loose screws, all right? I know, nobody can believe it. But I have some loose screws. So I have me a good old mental health counselor. And I don't meet with my counselor all the time. But I check in because life is real and I have these programs, and some programs in my brain, they don't work. They don't mix with what I'm trying to do. And also some programs that I have in my brain, they hold me back, right? Instead of helping me to move forward. So I tune in, I check in with my counselor, and the best advice that my counselor ever gave to me was, Jasmine, you need to make sure that you have a plan. Okay. And I was like, what? I'm a gypsy. A plan, honey. I just live my life on an adventure. I like adventure. I like the unknown. I like unpredictability. I don't need no plan. And he said, girl, okay, you need a plan. There's a time and a place for everything, and you are grown. So you need to sit down and you need to make a plan for different areas of your life. And when you write it, you're going to give power to it. I'm so grateful for my counselor. Man, shout out to Dr. Solomon. I appreciate you. But he told me to sit down and to write down my plan and to give my words power by writing it down. And that was some of the greatest advice that I could have ever received. Number one, because it taught me how to change how my brain worked. Right? Like it taught me how to create more systems and order and structure in my brain, which has benefited me in so many different areas of my life. That structure, that discipline, that order has been so very helpful for me in other areas of my life. And now I know how to maintain a balance, right? Like sometimes I just want adventure. Don't give me no plan. Don't give me no script. Don't give me none of that. But when it comes to other areas of my life, I plan. So it's all about balance. So in the midst of manifesting, be clear with yourself. Be clear with the universe. Be clear with God about what it is that you want, right? Like don't just throw it out there. Sit with it. Be present with what it is that you want. Write it down and then devise a plan, right? Devise a plan. How are you going to get there? And the universe can assist you along the way. You know, and I just wanted to say that because for real, sometimes when I hear about manifestation, I just hear people talking like you just throw something up in the air. You just say what you want and then boom, it just happens. And sometimes it does. But a lot of the times that's not how it goes. Like there's a process to everything in life. Let's think about birth and how we got here. There was a process. When we eat food, there is a process that happens. When we are driving in our cars, there is a process that happens, right? And so I think that these processes that we encounter in life are very sacred. They're all very sacred. And they are designed to give us lessons so that we can become better, more informed versions of ourselves. Whew. So again, alignment before manifestation. I'm going to say it again. Alignment before manifestation. One more time for the people in the back. Alignment before manifestation. Faith without works is dead. We have to do our part. We have to heal. We have to become more aware of who we are, right? We have to become more aware of, sometimes the responsibility that is going to come with what it is that we are manifesting. And we have to do our part to make sure that we will value it and appreciate it and handle it with care. All right. Happy manifesting, friends. It's about that time. So, along with manifestation, I just wanted to share one more personal story with you all. So, as many of you know, some of you may not, many of you may not know that I lived in Brazil for 2 years. And I finished grad school. And I was like, but I'm still young. I'm still cute. I still want to live my life. I'm not trying to be an adult yet. I'm just not ready for that yet. And so I sold everything, car, clothes, furniture, and I moved to Brazil. And it was the best choice that I've ever made. And I was surrounded by so many people there that are from or were from the United States, actually. I met my sister tribe there. Women just like me who were like, yeah, I'm educated. Great. You know, I was making money, some 6 figures, but I just was not ready for that life. And in this beautiful, sacred, and amazing way, we found each other and supported each other throughout our journeys there. So in the midst of me having my boyfriends and having a good time and eating good food, and I also studied at the university. I studied Portuguese and I studied dance. I was introduced to plant medicine. And at first I was like, what the hell is this? I'm not about to do this, child. And especially when they told me you're going to poop and you're going to throw up. I was really like, oh, hell no, that's not for me. ego. Okay. But I obliged and I began to work with plant medicine, specifically ayahuasca. And if anyone has ever tried ayahuasca before, you know. You know, number one, that it tastes very interesting and it takes you on quite a journey. Okay. It has DMT in it and it opens up parts of the brain that we don't open up on a regular basis, right? It's said that we only use between 10 and 13% of our brain on a regular basis. Well, when you do ayahuasca, you open that thing up. You open your brain up and you just see so many things. And so did ayahuasca, so grateful for ayahuasca, will always be grateful for ayahuasca because it took me into my trauma. It took me into my shit that I had no idea existed. It took me back to the times when I was in my mother's womb. It took me to some very interesting places that needed my attention on a spiritual level. And I was able to resolve and to heal and make some powerful changes. Step one. Step one. Step two meant that I had to integrate this new way of being that my brain existed in this world. Let me break that down. Excuse me, y'all know I'm recovering. So what that meant was, okay, so you did the work to delve into the trauma, Jasmine. You went on a spiritual journey. You were able to do some spiritual healing, some spiritual work. Now you have to take all of that and integrate it into your human experience. What the fuck? That's what that meant. And I am still integrating, okay? I am still integrating, and it has been the most challenging because nobody tells you this when you do plant medicine, when you work with plant medicine. I think we just a lot of the times get stuck in the excitement of it all, right? But if you are really working with plant medicine in order to transform your life, it is a process, and you have to integrate, if you choose, your spiritual awakening with your physical experience. And that has been so hard for me because I just don't see myself or the world like I used to. I just don't. What I feel plant medicine does is tell you or remind you that you always have a choice. And so I don't know if anybody has ever seen the meme with the little boy who has the boot on his head. And then there's another picture that shows the little boy with his hand in the boot on his head. And he just starts laughing like, I'm creating all of this, right? Like plant medicine reminds you that you are always creating your reality. So if you're suffering, you have the power to change that. And so sometimes I just be like checking out because I see so many people, and I still do it too, just creating these stories and these scenes. And sometimes it don't even be necessary. It's like, why are we doing this? Right? And so integrating has not been easy for me. I am still in that process almost 10 years later of integrating my spiritual experience with ayahuasca with my physical experience and finding that balance. But I brought all of that up to you all to share, to remind you that that's the process, you know? And even though ayahuasca has given me this opportunity to manifest this life of awareness and understanding, there are still processes that come with that so that I can have balance and understanding in my life. It's the process. So I'm grateful that I have manifested the awareness, but I'm very aware of the process and that I am still doing the internal work to align with my life. And that's okay. So as you are working towards manifesting and creating the life, the world that you so deserve to have for yourself, for your family, for your lineage. Give yourself some grace. Okay? Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself some grace. Rome was not built overnight. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. I'm going to say that again. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And as above, so below. And so there are specific shifts, very sacred and divine shifts that must take place first on a spiritual level before they can manifest in this physical realm. Okay? So when we are talking about manifestation, I think that it is so important to take the power away from time. Right? Because if we're focusing on the time in which something should happen, we're going to miss the process. And if we miss the process, we miss the lessons. And if we miss the lessons, we miss our growth. And so be patient with yourself. Give yourself some grace and have fun in the midst of, all right? Because life is really comical. Like, it's just, it is something else. So in the midst of everything being aligned for you so that you, in fact and indeed, can manifest what it is that you are seeking to manifest, stay in the flow. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the process. Cry when you need to. Scream when you need to. Curse when you want to. But by all means, remember to enjoy the process. Have fun. Live your life. And take away the time that, or take away the power that the illusion of time sometimes holds over us. Time is an illusion. It is not real. Okay. A lot of the times it is a factor that is utilized to control people. Time is not real. And so it is going to happen in your life when it is supposed to happen. One thing that I have learned about the ancestors, God, spirit, is that they don't care about time and space. Those are man-made constructs. Okay. Everything will unfold in your life as it should, when it should, and how it should. All you got to do is make sure that you're doing your part to be ready for it. Okay? So go on and manifest that thing. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen. Don't rush it. Take your time. Have fun. Love it. Learn, grow, evolve. Do it all, baby. And it's going to happen. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. All right. So I'm not going to hold you all too much longer. Thank you so much for being here, y'all. I just wanted to share that very heart-filled message with you, because one thing you got to know about this podcast is that I consult with my ancestors. I consult with God before I do this podcast. And that was the message that was on my heart. So I hope that it resonated with you and touched your spirit and your heart in some way. And with that being said, I'm going to make an announcement. I am so excited. Let me take a deep breath in. Hold on. Ooh. Yeah. So I am so very excited. Let me turn my camera on. Hold on. I know y'all like, if this girl don't come on with this announcement, Lord have mercy, just doing the most. But hold on, let me turn my camera on, because I want to make sure that I capture this moment. Okay, there we go. Bam. All right, so I am so excited to share. Hold on, I'm just playing. Okay. I am very excited to share that the Journey to Bahia retreat is happening in 2024. Yay! I know some of y'all are saying, it's about damn time, girl. We've been asking you about this retreat for the past, but I moved by the spirit and the world ain't been right. So I had to get the green light, okay? But I'm super excited to share with you all that the Journey to Bahia, this one is the Journey to Bahia, the homecoming retreat is going to happen in December of 2024. And I am going to be sharing more information and logistics about that retreat very soon. Okay, there is a bit of a process for those who would like to go. And for those who have traveled with me, I've hosted 2 retreats there. Please share a comment, and just share what your experience was like. All right. Y'all know me. I like to have fun. You also know that Salvador Bahia is my home. So I am so excited to be taking an amazing group over there. We are going to have some fun. We are going to do some healing work, some health and wellness work while we're there. We are going to travel while we are there and just fortify community as well. So we are on for 2024. I'm so excited because we haven't been since the vid touchdown, honey. The COVID. And so I am so excited. Journey to Bahia, the homecoming is on for 2024. So be on the lookout. For more information. Okay. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and close out. But I want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. I hope that you got something from this podcast today. Please share a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check in. This is season 1, but season 2 is going to be dynamic. I am going to be bringing on some special guests that have some goodies for you all. So stay with us, all right? This podcast is all about love and building community and being our authentic, incredible selves, okay? So I wouldn't be right if I didn't close the podcast without asking a closing question. And my question for you is, what is your superpower? And how do you use it in this world? What is your superpower and how do you use it in this world? I want to know what the responses is, so please share. Comment, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Again, you can find the Beyond the Limits podcast on YouTube, on SoundCloud as well. I am Jasmine Dominique _is_love on Instagram. And I don't do Facebook, I dabble. I don't do no TikTok. I am not a TikToker. You can find me on Instagram. If you are interested in learning more about the services that I offer, you can find me at jasminedominique.com. I am a mental health counselor, clinician, a spiritual advisor as well. I am a Reiki teacher, master teacher. I have attuned over 80 people in the city of Nashville and beyond. I love y'all so much. And I am also a Reiki specialist and doula. I support mommies and families. And I also teach dance and do some other things too. So just head over to my website if you'd like to learn more. And remember to live beyond the limits, because the limits are merely illusions. If no one has told you today, I'm going to tell you that I love you and I hope that you have the most incredible day. Shine on, good people. Until next time. Bye.